Hello, hello. My name is Delilah. If you're new here, I make motherhood and homemaking videos here on YouTube. And I am currently pregnant with baby number 4, who is due very, very soon. So as you can imagine, we have been going over our baby name list like crazy lately, trying to decide on a baby name. And truthfully, it's not going very well. We have not yet decided on a name. Names are hard, and since we don't know the gender of this baby, it is a surprise. We are trying to come up with like a really solid girl name and a really solid boy name. So far we've come up unsuccessful, although we do have a few names that are, in our top category. And we have managed to come up with a list of baby names that we like and we might use, but are not top contenders for this baby. And since this is probably my #1 most requested video, I decided last minute I'm gonna sit down and share that baby name list with you today. Now, if you couldn't tell by now, we really enjoy the old-timey, old-fashioned, classic baby names. And I have filmed one of these videos with every single one of my babies, so there might possibly be some crossover, but this list has changed so much with each child as we change and our tastes change. But this is what is on our list right now. So we're gonna start off with boys, which for us is a lot harder than girl names. I just find that for boy names, there's not a lot of uniqueness. There's not a lot of variety. It's a lot of the same thing. And if it is unique, it's too unique. Do you know what I mean? Like, does anybody else understand this? Am I the only one? The first name is probably the only name on our list that has actually stayed on our list since, I think, Theodore, which is the longest a name has ever stayed on our list. That name is Vincent, which means prevailing. You know, I love this name. I love the name Vincent. I love the name Vince. I think it's classic and cute and it would suit so well with our other boy names, but Zach cannot get behind it. And so therefore we will probably never use this name, but it will forever be on my list because I adore the name Vincent, especially the nickname Vince. The next name is Gilbert. As an Anne of Green Gables fan, I personally enjoy the name Gilbert, especially the nickname Gil. But again, Zach can't get behind this name and I can't blame him. Like, I get it. If I didn't grow up with Anne of Green Gables, I probably wouldn't enjoy this name either. And to be fair, we've already used the name Blythe. So, I mean, to use the name Gilbert might just be a little bit too much. Also, we have a William. So if we had a William and a Gilbert and the nicknames were Will and Gil, no. The next one is Harrison. I think this is very sweet. I don't know if it's one that I would ever use though. I do think the nickname Harry is cute, but at the same time, I just can't envision it for our family. Number 4 is Frederick. I think this is really cute. But at the same time, like when we think about names, especially boy names, because boys tend to shorten names, they would always say Fred. I don't love the nickname Fred. Therefore, that is a name we will probably never use. Number 5 is Florence, which means prosperous. Now, I really enjoy this name, especially for a boy. This is more of a gender neutral name. But when Zach hears this name, he just thinks girl. Like, this isn't a boy name to him, this is a girl name to him. But when I hear this name, I prefer it for a boy. I just think it would be so cute to have a little Florence. But at the same time, boys like to shorten the name, and so he'd probably be nicknamed Flo, and that just wouldn't go over very well. The next name is one that Zach actually came up with, but at the same time, he's also not totally set on it, and that name is Christopher, and that means bearing Christ. We both kind of like this name, but we're not in love with it. I don't think it's a name that we would use, at least not for a first name. Again, because the nickname would be Chris, and we're just not totally on board with that. But I don't know, I think it sounds nice, it sounds classy. Christopher Lepke sounds kind of nice, but again, like Chris, I know too many people with the nickname Chris or with the name Chris. For us, it just doesn't work. Okay, this next one, I love this next one, but Zach, he doesn't. And that is Billy. I think that's so cute. Billy. Billy means determination and strength. I love it. Billy Lepke sounds really cute. But at the same time, like, we have a William, and Billy is a variation of William. My brother's name is Liam, which is, again, a variation of William. And my grandpa's name is Bill. So, I mean, Apparently it's a very common name in our family, and apparently it's one that I really seem to enjoy. Because of that, we probably will never use the name Billy, but I do think it is so cute. The next name is Bennett. I think this is a very like sophisticated sounding name, but we will never use this one because we know too many people with similar names. We know a Benjamin, we know a Beckett. It's just too close to those other names, and we won't be using that one, but I do think it's very sweet. The next name is Lawrence. I'm not obsessed with this name, but I do think it is very cute. Maybe as a middle name, Lawrence Lepke. I don't know how I feel about the L as the first name, then L as the last name, like Lawrence Lepke. And the last name is Wells. I think that is a very sweet name, but I feel like maybe just a little bit too modern sounding. Wells Lepke, I don't hate it, I don't love it. And all of these names, Zach is not a huge fan of either. Like, this baby name list is mostly names that I enjoy. That concludes our boy list. Now moving on to girls. The first name is Winslow. This is one I thought of in my last pregnancy that's kind of stuck on the list. Zach's not totally sold on it. It is more of a unique name, and we would definitely end up using the nickname Winnie. The next one is Guinevere, which means white fairy. I think this is very cute. I also love the nickname Gwen. But again, it's just not one that I can picture for our kids in particular, or for our family. Next one was a close contender for our last pregnancy. If William had been a girl, he might have been named this, and that name is Heidi. I think the name Heidi is so sweet. But Zach just, again, he's not a huge fan of this one. I'm not really sure why. I don't know, he doesn't really have a reason for that one, but Heidi Lepke, I think that sounds absolutely adorable. And maybe one day we will use this name because I really enjoy it. The next one I absolutely adore, and that name is Caroline. How sweet is that name? Caroline Lepke. I love it so much. But at the same time, thinking about nicknames, the baby would definitely be nicknamed Carol. And not that that's a bad nickname, but Zach has an Aunt Carol. I want to love it so much, but I don't know if we would use this one for that reason. The next name is Elodie. And I adore this name, but for obvious reasons, we will not be using this name. I mean, our first child's name is Eloise. And we adore the name Eloise. And obviously I adore that name so much that I love the variation of it equally as much. Elodie, like, that's just so cute. I absolutely adore that name, but I mean, we will never use that one. The next one is Winola. This is another close contender for William had he been a girl. It's very unique. I don't think I've ever heard anyone with that name before. I don't even remember where I heard that name, but again, the nickname would be Winnie, just like Winslow. Winola is so cute, but because we have a William, we will probably not use Winola or Winslow or Winnie, or any variation of that, because it is, you know, pretty similar. We don't want to have confusion. There's already enough names to remember, and we already get them mixed up enough as is, so we don't want to add to that confusion with names that are just a little bit too similar to one another. The next one is Viola, and I love it written down, but I can't say that I really love it when I say it out loud. Viola, or Violet, I guess would be a variation of that name. I thought Viola was really cute because it's a variation I hadn't ever heard before, and it looks very pretty, you know, written down on paper, but to say it out loud, Viola, I don't know. I also think Violet is very cute though. The next name is actually my grandma's middle name, and that name is Annette. I think it is very sweet, very feminine and pretty, but at the same time, it's just too close to other people's names that we know, and we'll probably never use it for that reason. The next one is Harriet, or Hattie for short. I almost think I like the name Hattie more than I like the name Harriet. Again, this is a beautiful name. I just really can't envision it for our family. There's actually three more names on the list. We have more girl names than we have boy names. The next one is Faye. I think that's adorable, especially as maybe a middle name, maybe not as a first name. We tend to like the longer first names and like have a nickname that we love that goes along with that longer name. Faye is just so pretty and simple and sweet. The next one is very similar, and that name is Flora, which means flower. And I think it's a very sweet name, but again, it's maybe just a little bit too unique for us, and I don't think we would ever use it. It's very similar to Florence, but I don't like Florence for a girl. I like it for a boy, and I like Flora for a girl instead. It just feels a little bit more like pretty and feminine. And the very last name we have on our list is Dottie, which means gift of God. Dottie is just such a cute, fun name, but when we pair it with our last name, Dottie Lepke, when we name our kids, we really keep in mind like what it sounds like with our last name and what the nicknames would be. And Dottie, the nickname would be Dot, and I think that's so cute. I think that's adorable. Dottie Lepke just doesn't work for me. And that concludes our baby name list. Those are the names that are on our list. Those are names that are contenders for this baby and possibly future babies. Names that we enjoy, but I can't say we're absolutely in love with them. If you have any name suggestions, please, please, please comment them down below. I would love to read them. Also, if you have any guesses on what our top contender names are, comment them down below. I'm curious to see if anyone can guess them. So far, I don't think anybody has guessed the names that we have in mind, which would be a first. I think with every other child, someone has guessed either the first name or the middle name or even both together. So I'm curious to see what your guesses are. Go ahead and comment them down below. I am excited to read through these comments and hopefully get some baby name inspiration from you guys, because it seems we cannot find baby name inspiration anywhere. Thank you all so much for watching. I gotta go grab William, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.